If there was one thing that truly unsettled Stephen Hawking, it was the paradox of time travel. To most of us, time travel feels like something from science fiction, a fantasy that exists only in movies, books, or imagination. But to Hawking, it was more than that. It was a serious scientific possibility, one that could, if misused, unravel the fabric of reality itself. He believed that time travel wasn't just possible to the future, but also to the past and even the present. That notion, however, brought with it dangers that were almost impossible to fully comprehend. Hawking warned that even traveling back just 1 minute could have catastrophic consequences. It sounds harmless at first, a single minute seems insignificant. But when you begin to consider the laws of cause and effect, that single minute could be enough to change everything. Imagine a brilliant but reckless scientist experimenting with time travel. He builds a machine capable of sending him back 1 minute in time. He activates it and steps into the past. In that moment, he sees his past self alive and unaware of the danger approaching. Driven by curiosity or perhaps a moment of madness, he shoots his past self. That past self dies instantly. And in that very instant, the present he left collapses into a paradox. The scientist in the present ceases to exist because he was killed in the past. But then a question emerges, a question that makes your mind spin. Who killed him? You might answer he killed himself. But that cannot be. If he died before traveling back, how could he have traveled back to shoot himself in the first place? And if he did not travel back, then he did not shoot himself. And if he did not shoot himself, then how did he die? It is an impossible loop, an event with no clear cause, something the universe fundamentally rejects. Every law of physics, every event in existence is bound by cause and effect. Nothing happens without a reason, and yet time travel threatens to create effects with no cause. A death without a murderer, a change without an origin, an action without a beginning. Hawking understood that tampering with the past is not like bending a rule, it is like breaking the rules that reality itself relies on. Reality does not allow such contradictions to exist, and that is why he believed that altering the past could be incredibly dangerous. The past is not malleable like clay. It is delicate like glass, and even the smallest touch can shatter it. This brings us to the famous grandfather paradox. Imagine traveling back in time to a moment when your grandfather was a child. In a thought experiment, you act in a way that prevents your grandfather from growing up and having children. If he dies, your father is never born, and consequently you are never born. But if you were never born, then who went back in time to prevent your grandfather from living? This paradox illustrates the impossibility of altering past events without creating contradictions that the universe cannot tolerate. The laws of cause and effect are absolute, and any attempt to violate them creates a logical loop with no solution. Hawking wanted to test this idea in a way that could provide evidence or at least illustrate the concept. He decided to host a party for time travelers. He set up drinks, snacks, and decorations and scheduled the event for exactly 12 o'clock. But here's the twist. He did not send out invitations before the party. The only way anyone could know about the event was to come from the future, traveling back in time to attend. Hawking waited by the door, observing the clock as the minutes passed. When 12 o'clock struck, he looked toward the entrance, anticipating footsteps that would arrive from another era. And then he waited some more. Nobody appeared. No time traveler stepped through the door. Later, after the party was over, he printed and circulated the invitations online so that if time travel were ever invented, someone might be able to attend in the future. But as far as we know, no one ever did. The absence of guests at Hawking's party raises profound questions. Perhaps time travel has not yet been invented. Perhaps humanity will never reach a point where traveling to the past is possible. Perhaps the invitations were lost before anyone could use them. Or maybe time travelers avoided the event out of fear of causing a paradox. Another possibility is that time machines, if they exist, only allow travel to the future, not the past. Or perhaps the travelers did attend, but in doing so, they entered a separate timeline, a multiverse where the party occurred differently, unseen by our timeline. Whatever the reason, the experiment illustrates the extreme complexity of time travel and the paradoxes that arise from it. Even a single minute can trigger events that loop back on themselves, creating outcomes that cannot be changed. And this is where the predestination paradox comes into play. Imagine witnessing your friend driving recklessly and crashing into a tree. You feel helpless and want to go back to prevent the accident. You travel back and attempt to warn your friend, but your interference causes the very accident you hope to prevent. The same pattern can repeat endlessly, each attempt to intervene producing the same tragic outcome. The universe seems to use you to ensure the event happens, trapping you in a loop from which there is no escape. Certain events are fixed and predetermined. You cannot stop them because your actions to stop them are part of the sequence that guarantees they occur. The multiverse theory offers one possible escape from these paradoxes. If time travel allows movement between alternate timelines, changes in the past might occur in a different universe, leaving the original timeline intact. This would allow time travelers to interact with the past without causing paradoxes, creating an alternate reality where outcomes can differ without violating the laws of cause and effect. It is a theory that opens doors to possibilities that remain beyond our current technological and scientific reach. Yet it is grounded in principles that could, in theory, allow time travel without shattering the fabric of reality. The implications of all this are profound. Time travel is not simply a way to explore history or glimpse the future. It is an intricate web of cause and effect, one that must be navigated carefully. Every action in the past has consequences, some of which may ripple forward in ways we cannot predict. Hawking's warnings and experiments show us that while time travel is a fascinating concept, it is far from simple. Even with a perfect machine, the rules of the universe impose limitations, and those limitations are designed to protect reality from itself. Hawking's party, the grandfather paradox, the predestination paradox, and the concept of a multiverse all converge to illustrate a central truth. The past is not a playground. The timeline is structured, rigid, and unforgiving. Every attempt to manipulate it risks creating events with no cause, effects without origin, or loops that trap us in cycles we cannot escape. Time travel may be possible, but the laws of cause and effect remain absolute. The past cannot be changed, only observed, and any attempt to intervene could produce consequences that we are only beginning to understand. This is the delicate, intricate, and fascinating reality that Stephen Hawking tried to explain to the world. Even more dangerous than the grandfather paradox is something called the predestination paradox. This paradox shows just how rigid the timeline can be and how, even if you travel back in time, you may find yourself trapped in a loop you cannot escape. The idea is simple but terrifying. Even if you try to change an event, the timeline resists, and your very attempt to intervene becomes part of the sequence that ensures the event occurs. You cannot tamper with history because history is already defined, and your actions are already integrated into the outcome. The universe is not a playground. It is a web of cause and effect, and time travel is a thread that, if pulled carelessly, can entangle you in ways you never imagined. Let's understand this with an example. Imagine your closest friend is driving recklessly down a long road. His attention wanders for just a moment. The car loses control, crashes into a tree, and he dies instantly. You are devastated. You are heartbroken. But in this scenario, you are lucky or cursed because you own a time machine. With it, you could travel back to prevent the accident. You think, why not? Why not go back and save him? You activate your machine and travel back to the exact moment just before the crash. You arrive in time to see your friend speeding toward the tree. You wave frantically, trying to stop him, screaming at him to slow down. For a moment, he sees you and becomes distracted. And in that split second, the car hits the tree. He dies because of you. Your well-intentioned intervention has become the very cause of the tragedy you tried to prevent. That is the predestination paradox in action. You feel guilt, sorrow, and despair, and you resolve to try again. You travel back once more, hoping that a different action might save your friend. But when you arrive, something unexpected happens. Another version of yourself is already there, your previous self, trying desperately to prevent the same accident. You watch as your friend approaches at high speed while your earlier self waves, shouts, and signals him to stop. In a panic, you try to silence the earlier version of yourself, thinking it will prevent the crash. But in doing so, you create a distraction for your friend. He notices you, loses focus, and the car crashes into the tree. Again, it happens because of you. Your actions, intended to save him, are trapped in a loop, ensuring the outcome is exactly what it was before. The predestination paradox teaches us a harsh lesson. Some events are predetermined. They are fixed in the timeline, and your actions cannot prevent them. In fact, your very attempts to change them are already part of the sequence that guarantees they occur. You cannot escape the loop because you are not just a witness to the events of time, you are an actor whose presence is already woven into them. Time travel may sound exciting and full of possibility, but in reality, it is a delicate dance in which every step must align perfectly with what is already written. Otherwise, the universe will use your actions to enforce the outcome it has already decided. Despite these paradoxes, there is a glimmer of hope in the concept of the multiverse. If the universe contains multiple timelines or parallel realities, it may be possible to interact with the past without disrupting your original timeline. In this framework, your intervention creates a new branch, a separate timeline where events unfold differently. You might succeed in preventing the accident in the new timeline while leaving the original timeline intact. The multiverse theory offers a way to reconcile the impossibilities of time travel with the desire to interact with history, providing a potential escape from the constraints of paradoxes that would otherwise trap you in an endless loop. Returning to Stephen Hawking's famous experiment, his party for time travelers serves as a practical illustration of these concepts. The event was carefully planned. He prepared food, drinks, and a welcoming space, all scheduled for exactly 12 o'clock. The twist, however, was that he did not send invitations beforehand. The only way anyone could have attended was by traveling from the future to that specific moment. He sat by the door, watching the clock, waiting for a guest to appear from another era. But no one arrived. No footsteps echoed in the room, no time traveler entered. After the party ended, he published the invitations online so that if time travel were ever invented, someone might have the chance to attend. Yet in our timeline, no one came. The absence of guests has sparked endless speculation. Perhaps time travel has not yet been invented, and the future has not progressed far enough for anyone to attend. Perhaps the invitations were destroyed, lost, or never reached the people who might have been able to travel. Perhaps humanity itself does not survive long enough to invent the technology. A natural disaster, a global war, or some catastrophic event might wipe out the possibility before it ever occurs. Perhaps time machines, if they exist, only allow travel into the future, making backward travel impossible. Or perhaps travelers intentionally avoided the event, wary of paradoxes or fearful of violating the laws of cause and effect. And there is one final intriguing possibility. Travelers did attend, but in doing so they entered an alternate timeline, a separate reality, leaving our timeline untouched. In that case, the party may have been a success in another universe, but to us, it remained empty and silent. These scenarios highlight the profound complexity of time travel. Even the most minor intervention can trigger a cascade of events with consequences that extend far beyond what is immediately visible. Every action in the past interacts with the future, and every attempt to change outcomes is constrained by the unyielding structure of cause and effect. Time travel is not simply a tool for exploration. It is a delicate and dangerous interaction with the fundamental rules of the universe. Predestination and multiverse theories intersect here, offering both caution and possibility. While the predestination paradox demonstrates how the timeline can trap you in fixed loops, the multiverse offers an escape, a chance to act without breaking the original flow of events. It suggests that time travel might allow interventions that create new outcomes in parallel realities, leaving the original timeline untouched and intact. The multiverse theory expands the possibilities of time travel beyond the rigid constraints of the past while maintaining the integrity of cause and effect. Hawking's party, the absence of time travelers, and the paradoxes they highlight serve as both warning and inspiration. They illustrate the extreme care required when interacting with time, the potential consequences of altering the past, and the ways in which reality itself resists contradictions. They remind us that time is not just a linear sequence, but a complex, structured system in which every action matters. Even the smallest change can ripple outward, producing outcomes that cannot be predicted or controlled. In contemplating these paradoxes, we begin to understand why time travel, while theoretically possible, remains a realm of speculation, theory, and careful thought experiments. It challenges our understanding of cause and effect, of history, and of reality itself. It demands respect, insight, and imagination. Hawking's warnings and experiments leave us with a profound realization. The past is not a playground. The timeline is rigid and reality is unforgiving. Any attempt to change the past carries consequences that may extend far beyond our comprehension. And yet the allure of time travel persists. The idea that we might glimpse the past, witness the future, or interact with history is irresistible. The possibility that multiple timelines exist, that actions in one universe do not destroy another, offers hope that the restrictions imposed by paradoxes might be circumvented. It is in this delicate tension between possibility and danger, between curiosity and caution, that the true fascination of time travel lies. Hawking's experiments, paradoxes, and theoretical work invite us to imagine a world in which time travel is possible but constrained. They teach us about the delicate balance of cause and effect, the risks of altering events, and the potential of parallel realities. They challenge us to think beyond our immediate experience and to consider the deep and sometimes terrifying structure of time itself. Through his party, his thought experiments, and his warnings, Hawking left a legacy of curiosity, caution, and wonder, a reminder that while the past may be fixed, our understanding of it is ever expanding. Even with all the paradoxes we've discussed, the idea of time travel continues to capture our imagination. The grandfather paradox shows us that interfering with the past can unravel the very logic of cause and effect, and the predestination paradox demonstrates that even our attempts to prevent events can be what ensures they occur. Yet, these constraints also hint at something fascinating. The past may be untouchable, but the future may hold doors that we have yet to explore. The possibility of alternate timelines, of multiverses, opens avenues where our actions might be meaningful without endangering the original flow of events. In this light, time travel is not just a theoretical experiment, it is a challenge to our understanding of reality itself. Imagine for a moment a timeline where your every choice, every movement, and every decision has already been incorporated into the structure of reality. It is as if you are walking through a corridor of mirrors, each reflection representing a moment that is simultaneously fixed and inevitable. You might believe you are altering the path, but the universe has already accounted for your interference. This is the essence of the predestination paradox. The universe is not passive. It actively integrates your presence into the events it has already determined. In this way, the past cannot be rewritten, and every attempt to change it reinforces the events that are already in motion. To illustrate, consider a scenario that is both tragic and revealing. Suppose someone you care about is about to experience a life-altering accident. You possess the means to intervene, and the temptation is overwhelming. You travel back intending to save them. Every warning you give, every action you take, is part of the universe's plan to bring about the very outcome you seek to prevent. Your presence becomes a necessary factor in the event itself. The accident occurs not in spite of your intervention but because of it. The universe has woven your actions into the fabric of inevitability. This is not punishment, it is structure. It is the natural consequence of a timeline that cannot be violated. Yet within these constraints, there is still wonder. The multiverse theory allows us to consider that every intervention, every choice may create a new branch of reality. In this branching system, your actions do not erase the original timeline but instead produce an alternate reality where different outcomes are possible. This is a profound concept because it reconciles the paradoxes of time travel with the desire to influence events. In a multiverse, you can be both a participant and an observer. You can make changes that matter without collapsing the original flow of time. The boundaries of possibility expand, offering a vision of time that is flexible yet coherent, dynamic yet consistent. Returning to Stephen Hawking's party, we can examine this concept in practice. The party was intended as a demonstration, an invitation to anyone capable of traveling back from the future. The idea was simple but elegant. If time travel is possible, guests from the future would appear without prior notice. The fact that no one arrived may reflect the constraints imposed by paradoxes, the fragility of timelines, or the non-existence of time travel technology. It may also indicate that time travelers chose to avoid potential disruptions, respecting the unbreakable laws of cause and effect. Another possibility, more intriguing, is that those who did attend entered a parallel timeline, leaving our timeline untouched. In this scenario, Hawking's party exists simultaneously in multiple realities, some observed, some hidden, each illustrating the delicate balance between potential and impossibility. The absence of guests does not diminish the significance of the experiment. On the contrary, it highlights the profound complexity of time and the intricate rules that govern it. Time is not merely a series of moments, it is a structured system, a network of cause and effect in which each action is connected to countless others. Every attempt to change a single event carries ramifications that can extend far beyond our immediate perception. The future, while unknown, is bound by these same rules. Just as the past resists alteration, the present and the future are shaped by the interplay of actions, decisions, and consequences. Time travel, then, is not a casual endeavor. It is an intricate interaction with the architecture of reality itself. Understanding this interaction requires careful consideration of the psychological and emotional dimensions of time travel. The temptation to intervene, to prevent accidents, to change outcomes is deeply human. We are wired to act, to influence, and to correct. But in the context of time, these impulses are both powerful and dangerous. Every choice carries weight far beyond the immediate moment. Interfering with a past event, no matter how noble the intention, may create outcomes that are entirely unforeseen. The universe, in its complexity, has mechanisms to preserve the integrity of cause and effect, ensuring that the timeline remains consistent even when we attempt to alter it. In this sense, the paradoxes of time travel are not merely theoretical, they are protective. They prevent reality from collapsing under the strain of contradictions. Predestination and multiverse theories together create a fascinating landscape for exploration. Predestination emphasizes the inevitability of certain events, the way the universe integrates all actions into a predetermined sequence. Multiverse theory offers flexibility, a system in which alternate realities can emerge, allowing for meaningful change without endangering the original timeline. These concepts are not mutually exclusive, they complement each other, providing a framework in which time travel can be imagined, studied, and even theorized without violating the fundamental laws of physics. They challenge our perceptions of cause and effect, free will, and destiny, inviting us to think more deeply about the nature of reality itself. Time travel, therefore, is not just a scientific curiosity. It is a philosophical exploration, a way to confront the limits of human understanding. It forces us to grapple with questions of inevitability, responsibility, and the consequences of our actions. The paradoxes demonstrate the rigidity of time, while the multiverse offers glimpses of possibility. Together, they create a rich, intricate tapestry in which the past, present, and future are interwoven, each influencing the other, each bound by rules that are both subtle and absolute. Hawking's work in this area, both theoretical and experimental, invites us to contemplate these complexities with awe and humility. Even as we imagine traveling through time, we are reminded of the responsibilities inherent in such power. Every action carries potential consequences, and even the most minor interference may ripple outward, affecting events in ways that are impossible to predict. The past, while seemingly fixed, is deeply connected to the present and future, and any attempt to alter it risks destabilizing the balance that holds reality together. Time travel is not simply about exploration or adventure. It is an engagement with the structure of the universe itself. It requires understanding, caution, and respect for the intricate patterns that govern all events. Stephen Hawking's experiments, his party for time travelers, and the paradoxes he explored serve as a testament to human curiosity, imagination, and ingenuity. They challenge us to think critically about the nature of time, causality, and reality, and they remind us that even the most fantastical ideas can have profound implications. Time travel, as both a theoretical and philosophical concept, continues to inspire, provoke, and challenge us. It forces us to confront the limits of our understanding and to imagine possibilities beyond our immediate perception. In contemplating the rules, paradoxes, and theories that govern time, we gain insight not only into the universe but into ourselves, our desires, and the complex web of actions and consequences that shape our lives. Hawking's work encourages us to explore these ideas responsibly, to respect the structure of time, and to consider the profound consequences of even the smallest actions. It reminds us that time is not a simple river flowing linearly from past to future. It is a complex, interconnected web in which every moment is linked, every action is significant, and every decision carries weight. The paradoxes of time travel, the possibilities of multiverses, and the constraints imposed by predestination together create a landscape that is as fascinating as it is humbling, challenging us to think deeply, imagine boldly, and understand profoundly. Even as we explore the paradoxes and theories of time travel, there is another layer to consider: the human perspective. Time is not just a scientific construct or a theoretical problem. It is experienced, felt, and lived. Each moment in our lives is connected to countless others in ways we can rarely perceive. The desire to intervene in the past, to prevent accidents, to save someone we love, is a reflection of our deepest human instincts. But the paradoxes show us that even with the power to act across time, the universe has its own rules, and those rules are not to be ignored. They remind us that power without understanding can be dangerous, and intention without knowledge can create unforeseen consequences. The grandfather paradox, the predestination paradox, and the multiverse theory together form a framework for understanding what is possible and what is forbidden. The grandfather paradox warns us that some actions are inherently impossible. Traveling to the past and altering events that lead to your own existence cannot occur without creating logical contradictions. The predestination paradox illustrates that some events are fixed. The universe incorporates our actions into the very outcome we might hope to prevent. And the multiverse theory opens the door to a way of navigating these constraints. It suggests that alternate realities may exist where different outcomes are possible, allowing interventions without disrupting the original timeline. Imagine being able to witness a moment from your past without changing it. You could observe events, see the consequences of choices, and gain insights into how things unfolded. Yet even in observation, time maintains its structure. The past is not altered, it is merely experienced. This understanding is profound because it allows us to explore the concept of time travel without the dangers of paradoxes. We can learn, reflect, and understand the past without endangering the delicate balance of cause and effect. Observation becomes a tool for insight rather than interference, a way to interact with history safely. Hawking's party, while seemingly simple, exemplifies this principle. The experiment demonstrated that time travel, if possible, must operate within strict constraints. The absence of guests highlights the reality of these constraints, whether they are technical, physical, or self-imposed by future travelers. It also underscores the potential for multiple timelines, where actions can occur without violating the integrity of the original universe. The experiment is both a cautionary tale and a thought-provoking demonstration, showing that time travel is not simply about going back and changing events, it is about understanding and respecting the structure of reality. These lessons extend beyond theoretical physics and into our daily lives. The way we experience time, make decisions, and consider consequences is influenced by the principles illustrated by these paradoxes. Even without a time machine, understanding cause and effect, the interconnection of events, and the potential consequences of our actions can provide valuable insights. Time travel in this sense becomes a metaphor for awareness and responsibility. It reminds us that our choices matter, that the past shapes the present, and that the present determines the future. The lessons of paradoxes and multiverses are not just scientific, they are deeply human. As we imagine the possibilities of time travel, it is also important to recognize the limits. Technology may one day allow us to explore the past or glimpse the future, but the rules of the universe will remain. Cause and effect cannot be violated. Actions will always have consequences, and attempts to change predetermined events may produce unintended results. The multiverse offers flexibility, but it also emphasizes that every action creates a new reality, a new set of outcomes that must be navigated carefully. Time travel, therefore, is not a simple adventure. It is a responsibility, a profound engagement with the forces that shape reality itself. Stephen Hawking's work challenges us to think beyond our immediate experiences, to consider the intricate web of events that connect past, present, and future. It inspires curiosity while demanding respect, imagination while emphasizing caution. The paradoxes he explored and the experiments he conducted serve as guides, helping us navigate the complex landscape of time and possibility. They encourage us to ask questions, to explore, and to understand the limitations and opportunities inherent in the structure of the universe. Time travel is not just a scientific endeavor, it is an intellectual and philosophical journey, one that tests our understanding of reality and our place within it. In contemplating these ideas, we are invited to consider both the potential and the danger of human curiosity. Time travel represents the ultimate test of foresight and responsibility. It asks us to think in ways that challenge linear perception, to understand that our actions are connected across time in ways that are both visible and invisible. The paradoxes remind us that power without wisdom can lead to disaster, while the multiverse offers hope that understanding and careful navigation can create meaningful outcomes. Hawking's party, the theoretical experiments, and the discussions of paradoxes are all part of this exploration, providing a framework for imagining what is possible while acknowledging what is forbidden. Ultimately, time travel is a mirror reflecting both the structure of the universe and the nature of human desire. It shows us the consequences of our actions, the inevitability of certain events, and the possibility of alternative outcomes. It challenges us to think beyond the constraints of the present, and to explore the intricate connections between past, present, and future. Hawking's insights teach us that even the most powerful technology cannot override the fundamental principles of reality: cause and effect, paradox and inevitability, observation and consequence. These are the pillars that govern the universe, and they are as relevant to our daily lives as they are to the theoretical exploration of time. In the end, Stephen Hawking's work on time travel is both a warning and an inspiration. It reminds us of the beauty and fragility of reality, the dangers inherent in attempting to manipulate it, and the vast potential for understanding it. Time travel is not merely a journey through years or centuries. It is a journey through cause and effect, through decision and consequence, through possibility and inevitability. It challenges us to think deeply, act responsibly, and imagine boldly, and it invites us to participate in one of the most profound explorations ever conceived, understanding the nature of time, the structure of reality, and the role we play within it. Hawking's party, his paradoxes, his warnings, and his theories all converge to leave us with a singular message. Time is not to be taken lightly. The past cannot be changed without consequence. The present is shaped by actions both seen and unseen, and the future may hold infinite possibilities, each governed by rules we are only beginning to understand. Time travel, in its complexity, its beauty, and its danger, reminds us that reality is structured, that our choices matter, and that the universe operates according to laws that are both elegant and unforgiving. To engage with time is to engage with existence itself, and to contemplate it is to glimpse the profound mysteries that define our universe.